A huge victory in Oklahoma this week with yet another marriage ban declared unconstitutional. Now comes the appeal in the same federal circuit as the Utah case. We'll take a look at what to expect. Plus, more progress across the country, from Indiana to Texas to Idaho and Georgia. At the American Foundation for Equal Rights, I'm Matt Baum, and welcome to Marriage News Watch for January 20th, 2014. We've won another major victory. This time it's Oklahoma, where a federal court ruled that banning marriage equality is unconstitutional. As in other states, the court rejected the state's arguments about encouraging responsible procreation. For now, the decision is stayed pending appeal to the 10th Circuit. That's the same circuit as Utah, which is also appealing a pro-equality ruling. The Utah case is moving very quickly, so it will probably be heard before the Oklahoma appeal, or the cases could be consolidated. There's also a new lawsuit to consider in Utah. The state had previously announced that it would not recognize the marriage licenses that it issued. Now the ACLU has announced its plan to sue the state, forcing it to recognize those licenses. And there's new polling data in Utah. A Salt Lake Tribune poll shows support for and against marriage tied at 48%. This reflects a slow but steady climb in support dating back over 2 decades of data. Meanwhile, there are several additional states facing major decisions in the coming weeks. We're just 1 week away from the hearing in AFER's federal lawsuit in Virginia. In Ohio, the state has appealed a ruling that required the state to recognize marriages on death certificates. And a lawsuit in Texas will move ahead after a judge declined to consolidate it with 2 other cases. The next hearing in that case is in February. There's also a lawsuit in Idaho, where last week State Attorney General Lawrence Wasden asked the court to dismiss the suit. Also last week, legislators approved a rule that would require LGBT couples to file separate tax forms. We heard testimony on a marriage equality ban in Indiana last week and could see a vote any day now. Lawmakers are expected to pass the ban, which would send it to voters for approval in November. And organizers in Georgia have unveiled a marriage equality plan. Public support is relatively low, 32 to 60% in the last poll. So the plan calls for a 3 to 5 year, $10 million public education campaign. Currently, Georgia Equality is fundraising for an initial Why Marriage Matters outreach project. Those are the headlines. Subscribe here on YouTube for more on all those stories, and visit the American Foundation for Equal Rights for more on the Virginia hearing. For the American Foundation for Equal Rights, I'm Matt Baum. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next week.